Today I'll be sharing the IIM Lucknow interview experience, and this one's a bit special because this was the first IIM interview after CAT 2018. And for those who are new here, a little brief about myself. I graduated from IIM Ahmedabad in 2021, and in CAT 2018 I had 99.91 percentile. I had all the major B school calls except IIM Bangalore, and I happened to convert all of them and joined IIM Ahmedabad. So now coming to the experience, CAT results came out around first or second week of January, and in 2 or 3 days the IIM calls also started coming out. And when IIM Lucknow call came out, I was totally shocked because it was scheduled on 31st January. सोचा था SAT के बाद आराम से पढ़ूंगा for the interviews, but it was like scheduled in 2 or 3 weeks only, and I literally didn't have time. Started panicking, applied for leave for 3-4 days so that I can study for this, opted for the magazines, started appearing for the mock interviews. Most difficult part were the engineering subjects. I was totally out of touch but knew for the interviews I had to prepare them, and finally I decided that definitely I cannot prepare all the subjects, so I took up major 2 or 3 subjects and started studying the basics of that. And jaise taise I started the preparation and somehow made my mind agree that this is Lucknow. After that I have Calcutta and Ahmedabad calls. If I'm not able to do well here, at least I'll prepare well and do well in Calcutta and Ahmedabad interviews. So then came the interview day and I had to travel to Mumbai. I was staying in Pune at that point of time, and for every IIM interview I had to travel to Mumbai because there were no interviews scheduled in Pune city. So I decided to travel and I had booked a hotel which was just opposite to where my interview was scheduled, and a very funny incident happened that evening itself. So I reached the location at night, and by mistake I entered the hotel where my interview was scheduled. My hotel was just opposite to that, 100 meters from there, so it was showing in the map that you reach your location, and I thought that is the one, and I entered that hotel. So I went in, asked the receptionist that I have a booking, and he asked me, I am Lucknow. And I was very happy. I thought that he knows I'm from the IIM Lucknow interview, and I thought that there are many people who have come there for the IIM Lucknow interview only, and he's asking me that. And I said yes. It didn't strike me that he's asking whether I'm from IIM Lucknow or not. So he started checking my name in the register, and obviously he is not getting it. And now I was kind of frustrated because I'd made the booking, and now this person was saying that all the rooms are booked for IIM Lucknow only, and he cannot give me any extra room. And I was like, I'm still not getting it, that he's talking about IIM Lucknow College. I'm still thinking that because there's the IIM Lucknow interview schedule, that is why maybe a number of candidates have come in and the hotel is fully booked. That's when I told him that I got a confirmation over call, and your person also sent me this address over WhatsApp. You can check that. And when he saw the address, that's when it got confirmed, and he told me that no, you will be coming to this hotel in the morning for your interview, and your hotel is on the opposite side. So it was very embarrassing. I hope that none of the professors were there to witness this kind of act. And I took my luggage and finally checked into the right hotel. So raat gayi baat gayi, I came to the hotel again in the morning for the interview, and once we entered, we were sent to one particular room for verification of our documents. All the mark sheets, CAT scorecard, call letter, everything was checked there. And after that, we were sent to separate rooms for the written test. So the topic of the analytical writing test was globalization versus nationalization. Can they coexist together? So a very good topic, and I wrote some really good points there, took some very good examples from China, Russia, India, highlighted the disadvantages, advantages of both the structures and why they can coexist. So overall it was really good. After that came the interview turn, and I think I was 5th or 6th in my panel, and as I entered the interview room, they started going through my file. I think none of the other IIM interviews, they were going through my file. It was only IIM Lucknow. They were quickly flipping through the slides and trying to see if there is something relevant. And while they were going through it, one of the professors asked me to introduce myself and asked me the kind of work that I do in my company. And after that, they asked a question which I was dreading the most, about my favorite subject in chemical engineering. And that because I did not want to say anything related to chemical engineering, I was so scared about all the subjects there. I told him managerial economics. And while I told managerial economics, but I think that professor was from economics. And then came a flurry of questions from macro and microeconomics. And those questions were like serious economic questions. First was, why is rupee depreciating? And then when I answered that, it was rupee depreciation good for the country or not? And I think I mentioned about more exports and how it can increase increase the GDP. And then he started asking me, how do you calculate the exact GDP? What are the different methods of calculating GDP? What is the difference between GDP and GNI? And after that, there were more questions on repo rate. What is the current repo rate of India? These all were still fine. I was well versed with macroeconomics and I could answer most of them. At least the basic part of it, I was able to answer. So that was really going well. But then after that, they started asking about the demand supply curve. The basic was again still fine. But when they went into the intricacies, that if this happens, what will happen to the demand curve? What will happen to this curve? Then that is when I got confused and I could not answer that. And then I was thinking that maybe it would have been better if I had said about some chemical engineering subject. Maybe he would not have had the knowledge and he would have skipped that part. But he was continuously asking me about economic question. Overall, this section was kind of average. It went well in the beginning, but when he started going into the intricacies, I could not answer it. But I think he was not even expecting an engineer to answer those. The kind of questions that I had answered, I think he was pretty satisfied in the first stage itself. After that, they started asking other types of questions as well. Because I was working in the pharma sector, they asked me what are the ethical consideration that pharma company has to take care of. Are pharma companies all ethical or not? And after that, whether pharma companies can manipulate consumers, patients, doctors, those kind of questions. Then he asked us some philosophical questions like what is failure or success according to you? If you convert IIM Lucknow, will that be a success or not? So these kind of questions, and the discussion was going really good at this point of time. There were no like major concerns. He was also patiently listening to the answers that I was giving. So this section was also like going really good. After that, they asked me about my project in the undergraduation days. So it was related to water purification. So they started going into the details, asked me what is the BOD and all the parameters that I had tested. And then they went to Ganga project as well, that there is a massive budget allocated for Ganga cleaning. Why do you think we need that kind of a budget? What's the progress in that? What's the bottleneck that's stopping the progress? And my opinions basically on the Ganga project itself. So that part again was also very good. At least my project explanation was really good. On the Ganga project, again, I don't think they were expecting everything that they were asking for. It was more of a conversation and to hear my opinion rather than stating facts on that particular thing. So all in all, I think it was a good interview. I could answer most of the questions. Some questions I could not. And one final question that they asked was what other course do I have and which one would I join? So I mentioned about IIM Ahmedabad and I told them that currently I haven't given it much of a thought. Currently my focus is to convert all the colleges that I have a call from, and currently the preference is towards IIM Ahmedabad, but I need to talk to seniors, I need to talk to alumni of different colleges and research myself. Only then I will be able to answer this question properly. And there the interview ended. So that was all about the Lucknow interview experience. I could convert that with a pretty good score, and I've also released some other interview experiences on FMS, IIM Ahmedabad, and Calcutta. Do watch that, and I think the remaining ones are XLRI and IIM Indore. You can let me know in comments which one I should release next, and before you go, do hit that subscribe button.